most alarming performance by a 49ers player against the Jets. Someone maybe a little under the radar that fans don't realize is kind of killing the Niners right now. Or not that strong, but just someone who's struggling. Jack.
I'll go. Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey's really struggling out at right tackle. You know, the pick on that Mullins threw, I know we're talking about that, but that's really on McGlinchey. You know, if McGlinchey's missing the block, which forces him to throw the ball a little quicker, because he's throwing to be quicker, it's behind. That's really where it started there. And he's really struggled in pass protection. And this is something that we talked about for a couple of years, really. You know, he's a tremendous run blocker. He struggles in the passing game. And that whole right side of the offensive line right now is really struggling in the pass. They're just giving up so many pressure. So that's where I would go.
Not to mention the holding penalty downfield that negated a 70-something yard touchdown run. Good call.
Terrible.
Yeah, if I can't go with McGlinchey, I'll say, really the thing I thought was a little disappointing was after all the injuries is keeping a lot of the starters still on special teams. I know you can't have all 11 starters on defense off of special teams kick coverage, but just after losing Bosa and Solomon Thomas, I would have taken all those guys out, and I think that contributed a little to Dre Greenlaw getting nicked up at the end.
Ooh.
Man, speaking of Dre Greenlaw, not that he's going to be the name about this, but, well, he's injured now. But I've been arguing for him to start over Qual Alexander for the beginning, and that's who I think is underratedly hurting the 49ers is him. You know, ever since he came back from his torn pectoral muscle, it's just been whiff city for this tackling. His coverage isn't what it is. And at first you think, okay, it's rust because he hasn't been a part of the game. Maybe he's scared to hit because, you know, he was only gone for, what, a month or two? Not even. And he comes back, so you think, more recovery, he's back in it. And it's still the same story. And you can't blame the injury this time. So whatever it is, he just lost his legendary status, like how he talks about. That legendary status is Dre Greenlaw, because every time he's out there, he's making some type of play. He's in there in coverage. He's tipping passes against Arizona. He's just everywhere. And it's better to invest in the future to keep propping him up, because eventually you're going to cut ties with Alexander, and Greenlaw is the second best linebacker in my opinion. So Alexander, I think, is really hurting them. And I think if they keep doing it in like some critical situations on third down, he's going to become really exposed down the line.
Okay. Good answer. I'm going with Daniel Brunskill. I like Daniel Brunskill, and I think he's in a tough spot because he's playing a position that he didn't get to play at all in camp. He was a center in camp. Now he's a right guard. But today I was doing my film breakdown, and I'm going to post it tomorrow, the stock down section, and I have like 4 clips of Daniel Brunskill. And I know it's overkill, but it's like over and over again. So if you remember the Jets game, the Niners had a bunch of rushing yards, but they were mostly on 2 carries. McKinnon's long one and Mostert's long one. The rest of the game there was like nothing there. And what I saw was consistently, it wasn't just Brunskill, it was Garland, it was all of them. But a lot of times it was Brunskill giving up penetration quickly and guys making tackles for losses because he couldn't sustain a block for a second. So again, he's in a tough spot, but he's really playing poorly. He hasn't been an upgrade over Mike Person. I think actually Person was more solid than him. Yeah. And that's an issue right now. They got to work that out. It probably wouldn't have been an issue if they had preseason or if they had Garland in camp, but it is an issue right now.